We had an interesting morning.
That's freaking awesome, dude. We got here when it was still nighttime.
This is something that I've been talking about more and more. I'm worried, and I know you're worried too, about new cars because new cars, especially if they're going EV, they can be so boring.
Yeah. And we've all driven boring EVs, right? We've rented them or Turo'd them. We tried something that's not so boring this morning.
We're at Hyundai Proving Grounds in the desert in California, and they actually asked me to shoot the Ioniq 6N, right? They wanted me to shoot it, but they also wanted me to get action shots of it drifting. So I figured, hey, you've been here. You've actually drifted EVs here.
It was so long ago. It was
Yeah.
before the EV craze. So I drifted Hyundais here, different Genesis coupes.
Right.
And we even had fun in a front wheel drive Elantra. Like we got sideways and did all kinds of crazy cool stuff with an Elantra, SEMA car.
But also, you're one of the few that has competed in Formula Drift with a Hyundai.
Yes. I mean, there was Reese Millen that campaigned Hyundai. He had actually factory backing from Hyundai. And then I campaigned a Hyundai Genesis Coupe with a brand called Arc Performance. And yeah, we didn't have a Hyundai power plant in it, but it was still, we had to deal with the Hyundai geometry, the longer wheelbase, all the nuances of running a car that's not very well developed and doesn't have a lot of aftermarket support for drifting. So that was a fun experiment. But now fast forward, like a decade, and we're drifting EVs in the same area, the same spot.
Let's talk about the challenges then. Because while this is a very fast vehicle, very powerful vehicle, it wasn't really built just to go sideways. And honestly, not any stock cars really are.
No, I think that's like a huge liability for manufacturers, right? Like you can't just like enable someone to just go bananas and be able to get absolutely sideways and unlimited power, no driver aids. But somehow they're doing it, because I spun this thing out in front of your camera like several times. Like it's not something that is very I guess there's not that many driver aids. There's some to help you drift, but you are let loose. Like you can loop this thing in like a split of a second. I'm really glad that Hyundai called me up for this, and you're working with them, and I hadn't passed working with Hyundai because through fuel suspension, through designing shocks, manufacturing them, and consulting for suspension improvements. Since 2017, I've been involved with EV suspension. There's inherent challenges with creating suspension for EVs because they're heavier vehicles. The fact that they're so quiet, everything has to work really well. It can't make noise. And from the driving dynamic perspective, it's hard to tell how much wheel speed you're feeding the car. So like now, if you're getting into dynamic driving or drifting, it's as a driver, like you got to be really in tune with what's going on, because there's not like audible, I guess, feedback. Everything is so quiet that you could even hear the tiniest squeaks and knocks in suspension. That something that we had to learn how to deal with. You're lacking the audible. You're lacking running out of wheel speed and like any gear that you shift, because there is no such thing. It just like goes basically to infinity, and you don't really know what wheel speed you're at because there's the lack of audible feedback. So.
Well, with something like this, you jump in it, which, by the way, so cool that this is your job. Like, you're literally a professional drifter.
I love it.
You're just here to get this thing sideways, make a lot of tire smoke.
Yeah.
And you did that. But it did take some learning.
It did. But I've gone to drift weird, wacky stuff, right? I've done this for other brands where it's, hey, Odie, this is an automatic. We hung 2,000 pounds of, camera stuff on or whatever, but we need it to look cool sideways. So I've had the opportunity to drift weird, wacky stuff. This is not as weird and wacky though. This is, it's an EV, but it's got like over 600 horsepower, 500 foot-pounds of torque. So it's got like the fundamentals of what you need to, spin tires. Got a low center of gravity. What I'm trying to say is I've drifted things that are way more challenging than this. But this does come with certain challenges, right? Like, this is designed to not, I think, put someone in a lot of harm. Like there's obviously boundaries, I think, and we could dive into it deeper. There's like a really cool thing about drifting.
Let's show.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about.
This is a prototype. They just flew this over from Korea for us to shoot.
Okay, so yeah, let's go to that. So you go N mode, and I had to learn all this on the fly. I literally like showed up and they're like, hey, drift this thing.
Yeah.
So this is what makes this thing like driftable. This is what's cool is that Hyundai went out of their way to like say, hey, guys want to drift these things, so let's allow them to drift. So you go to drift optimizer. Yes, like you're basically saying like this is dangerous. I agree to it. Okay, cool. So initiation style, like you can make this thing step out, the power coming on as hard as you want. I honestly liked it most at that maxed out setting. Angle, this doesn't limit like your steering angle by any means, but what this does is if you have the angle knocked down kind of low, as soon as you like start drifting with more slip angle, it starts cutting power back a little bit. So it kind of like keeps you in check a little bit. But obviously if you lift and you're at angle, then the mass of the car will over rotate you. You could like still spin out. Like that's the thing. And this is really cool. Wheel spin. So remember I was saying it's freaking hard to understand how much wheel speed you have.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to overspin it because it just goes to infinity. Like you don't hit a rev limiter in first, then a higher one in second. Like your wheel speed is like basically always you could spin it to insane amount of wheel speed. So by knocking the wheel spin down, it kind of in a way mimicked like running out of speed in a certain gear, which kind of kept you in check a little bit.
So, but then for you to make more tire smoke, you put it up.
Yeah, so we're obviously trying to get the shot to look really cool. I had it maxed out. I had it at 10.
Right.
And I had angle at 6. And the reason I had angle at 6 is because I felt like as I was getting into too much angle, I still couldn't, with the maxing out wheel spin for the tire smoke, we wanted to look cool and we wanted to have as much forward drive as possible. I had to max out wheel spin. But when I decreased angle, then it was kind of like just dropping, like handling my wheel spin for me. It like would decrease power a little bit if I started getting in too much angle. And that was perfect. That was like kind of mimicking me like running out of wheel speed in an analog car where you're like in second or third and it, like actually you start running out of wheels. So I kind of use these settings maybe in a little backwards way. I kind of like hack the system in a way, but you could do that. Like you can mess with it. It's like a simulator. You can mess with all the stuff.
This is so crazy. Like this is a lot more. I mean, honestly, when I watch you drive from the outside, especially in something in this, the commitment that you have in the corners that we had with the limited amount of tires, we only had 2 sets of tires, right?
No, not even. What happened is we had the tires we started out with. We got banger shots, and the guy from Hyundai was like, I want this thing sideways behind that Joshua tree. That's like his like ideal. And we knocked that out, and then there's more fun to be had. So I said, you know what? Put the half dead tires or like almost dead tires in the front, and take the front to put in the rear.
We just swapped them.
It's not staggered. It's like square.
Okay.
I was like, if this thing pushes, I'll just deal with it. Because this thing has such good mechanical grip. I was like, it'll probably be fine.
Yeah.
So we technically, had...
I mean, the corners that you were hucking this in, because you absolutely have to huck this in. There's no e-brake.
There's no handbrake,
And then also, it's not something where you can just clutch in and put it in neutral, right? If you spin out or anything. It's always connected.
Yeah.
So you're doing a lot of weight transfer. You're doing a lot of trail braking into the corner.
The trail braking helps, for sure. It's kind of, especially like in the spot that you'll see in the video, we said, we got the shots we need. Let's try transitioning from one turn to the other. And I was like, oh man, this is a lot of mass. It's a big car and I can't check up with a handbrake. I can't clutch in and like let wheel speed slow down and then dump the clutch. Like I have to commit and I have to use the momentum of the car. And that's a little difficult, but I'm stoked. Like this is a showroom car. It probably doesn't even have all the features that the production one will have. Like there's a few things that are probably like this is not the final tune, and you could literally link turns with this thing out of the factory.
Crazy.
and it's an EV.
I mean, this is, yeah, it makes me happy that manufacturers are trying.
Yeah.
They're trying to keep us engaged, because it's really hard,
I'm
right?
gonna pick AC on, Larry. It's
you know,
getting hot in here, man.
Yes, it's getting to the point where all the cars are the same. They just look different. But also, another thing is, it's really easy to make power with the EV.
Yeah.
Like the trick, the novelty kind of wears off eventually of being able to just accelerate from a stop, and it's like crazy and it pins you into the seat.
Right.
Do you want to do that every day? Maybe it's fun. I get it. It's fun to accelerate really fast.
I need more than that for me to be excited. Check it out. Like, this reminds me of playing on my sim at home. Like, just adjusting things like that, right? I'm so used to having to change gear ratios or like mechanical things that take a lot of time on the car. But this, like, I just made this a rear-wheel drive car right now. Like, it's insane. You could have it all-wheel drive, right? Or we can make
mostly
it
front-wheel
drive. Like,
Whoa.
It's insane. So that's what's fun about it, because yeah, like, there's a lot of EVs out there that are fast, they make good power, but maybe you want to feel a little bit of wheel slip. You want to, like, just enjoy yourself, right? So you make this thing a rear-wheel drive car, and traction control is completely off. It's not like, oh, well, like, you'll let you, like, do, like, a tire chirp or something. Like, no, if you hold the traction control button for a long time, it like legitimately turns it off. It doesn't like disable it a little bit.
There's no reason for this to exist except for enthusiasts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why would you want to make this a front-wheel drive?
Especially when it has the hardware, the axles, the front motor to be all-wheel drive, right? This is literally catering to dudes like me that just like a toy, like, and this is amazing. And we had a ton of freaking fun with this thing today, and I wish I could just keep driving it, but they're out of tires. So there's so many features on this car, like this red push button right here supposedly adds another 40 horsepower for 10 seconds.
Whoa.
So that's like if you want to, like, pass someone, like, you're tracking it and you're just like down the straightaway, like, I just need that little bit more, it'll let you do that. And then it takes 20 seconds to cool down whatever byproduct of that heat was generated for it to, like, work again. Which is dope too. That's like big red button. It's like, do you want 40 more horsepower? Here you go.
This is a big car. Like, you could use this as an everyday car. It makes me wonder, what if Hyundai just built a purpose-built? What if they just made a purpose-built sports car that's just two-seater?
But an EV, you're saying?
Yeah. Tell me about what you were saying about crab walking on that really big corner.
So as we knocked out all the shots, we kept on going, hey, like, let's just go to a riskier part of the track. Let's go to a faster part of the track. And we found a corner that's pretty freaking fast. And I just, like, put the car at angle and just started, bearing the throttle more and more. And I found myself like, okay, I'm at speed. Like, things can't go too wrong. Like, I'm gonna fly off track if I mess up. But then I realized, like, in an effort to keep it center lane or, like, near the outside edge, what Larry liked, he told me purposely dirt drop for the shot, which was awesome. But I realized you could crab walk the car. You could actually manipulate its positioning on track, kind of like a drift car, right? At a certain point, you start feeding more steering just for the hell of it, and the car, like, backs to the outside of the turn. And I was super impressed that this thing was doing it, which means it was full power to the rear, no front assist, like the software told us. Sometimes you don't trust those things, right? You're like, it'll make you feel like it's rear-wheel drive. And it had a decent amount of steering angle to do that. You need a decent amount of steering angle to feel that the car starts to, like, actually crab walk off to the side. So they obviously built this thing to have fun drifting. For it having axles in the front, I'm surprised how much steering angle it has, and that was really evident at higher speed. Like, you could actually have more wiggle room to not only keep it on track, but to actually, like, manipulate the positioning of the car. So I was blown away by that. I wish we could just keep railing this thing faster and faster, but
you should have brought more tires.
I should have. Yeah, if I knew that was an option, I would have definitely done it.
And 275 squared?
Yeah.
Just roasted those things.
Oh, yeah. 20s, dude. 20-inch tires. 20-inch wheels. And these wheels don't look bad.
This is an expensive drift car, man.
Yeah. But like the wheel design is actually pretty cool. I think there's a certain reason the way it's designed like that. It's like an aero wheel. Like it's obviously got to have good efficiency and range and stuff. Like EVs like thrive on that. Like if the EV has range, it's like, why are we even driving them?
Yeah.
So they do all this weird stuff in an effort to do that. But it's actually, despite being an efficient like aerodynamic wheel, I think it looks pretty cool. The suspension surprisingly is like really firm. I think it might have dynamic suspension, so as you toggle through like an N mode, it does not only increase horsepower, I have a very strong suspicion that it stiffens the suspension as well, and it does it to a degree where you're like, damn, Hyundai, like that's cool that you let a road going vehicle get that stiff. Like you feel the cracks in the road, like, and that's what you need. Like you can't just increase spring rate like that. So they increase the compression and rebound damping, and the thing just feels planted, which is dope.
I think the thing that I'm really most surprised about is the fact that you were able to complete a transition in this without it getting pissed off, you know?
Yeah, and I think the suspension being as firm as it is really helps, because you're moving a lot of mass. The car is, all EVs are pretty heavy inherently, and as you switch direction, it wasn't just like massive body roll flopping back and forth, which takes all the driver confidence out, right? If you're shifting that much weight around and it's too upset, it's really hard to keep it on the road. That was fun. Yeah, I feel like if we were let loose with more tires, that last section where it was a high-speed turn into another turn, if I was like let loose, I think I could link that in this thing, which would be super awesome. It just, you got to find how to slow it down with angle, because the turn you're linking it into is a decreasing radius. It's a tighter turn than the one you just came out of. So you'd have to like find that sweet spot where you could foot brake and off throttle maintain angle, which I think is doable.
And
this
it
thing
doesn't even get pissed off when you foot brake when you're drifting?
No. Left foot braking might. I honestly, we didn't have enough time for me to try that because I didn't want to ruin a shot of it losing power as soon as they touch the brake. Most vehicles discourage left foot braking, and it just cuts power. Especially in an EV, you could sense like an easy way to cut it. What I was mentioning is I had to send it into some turns off throttle to use the momentum of the car to like, there's no handbrake, so you just off throttle, like oversteer, but you could also dab the foot brake while you're doing that, as long as you're at shallow angle, which is dope. So yeah, like you could do a lot with this thing. All the runs that I got in this car, you saw, like that was it. So if you have more practice in something like this, I think you could have so much freaking fun. Just bring tires, because it makes a lot of power.
Were you at any point like at full lock when you're drifting?
I was at full lock quite often. There was like the handful of times I spun out. I was trying to be impactful, carry a lot of angle, produce a lot of wheel spin to have smoke for the video. Those were the times where I was at full lock. Yes, an angle kit would just make this thing mind-blowing, but I get it. Like, you can't drive around on the street with an angle kit. Like, there's other downsides to having an angle kit. The amount of angle is, I think, very appropriate for this car. Compared to other like OEM cars, this is a very appropriate amount of steering angle, more than a lot of other normal cars, especially cars that have front axles. So they really, I think, did a great job there. Let's see how fast it goes.
Yeah. Wait. Let's see how fast it goes.
Does it have a governor? This is not the final tune.
Oh, yeah.
Let's find out.
We'll see. Yeah, we got to go to the end, though.
Let's go
we
to
got
the
to get
end.
a running start.
Yeah, let's do it.
You have to use that red button for the more power, though.
When should I use it, Larry?
After we
get
have
going?
enough traction.
At what, 30 miles an hour?
Yeah.
Let's try it. All right.
Yeah.
So my foot's on the brake. If I let go, it starts to roll. So I'm just going to simultaneously let go and hit it. Ready?
Yeah.
Set, go. All right, push the
That's
red button.
fast. That is fast. It just gets higher and higher pitched.
Yeah, we're like 120.
That might have been the speed limiter. I think we hit the top speed.
Nah.
Really?
I think we should try it again, Larry.
I think so.
I think we should get a...
I love all the signs back here. It says end.
Yeah.
No, I think you should go to the end.
I think I could brake later. What do you think,
Yeah,
Larry?
I think you have to go to the
feeling
end.
good
No,
about that?
go this way.
Dude, okay, so
We're
launch
such
control
kids.
is like legitimately needed. I think we spun all four wheels for a
Yes.
little while.
Yes.
Like it was
I agree.
legitimately like
I agree.
it's insane.
It might just be me, but I feel like when you push the red button, I actually did feel something.
I didn't feel it, but I saw things
But
come
it's
up.
already accelerating so freaking fast.
Okay.
You know?
Ooh, it's...
Hey,
See, the cracks, those are filled with something, so I'm going to try to... This is good. The cracks are going to break traction for sure.
Okay.
With how much power. So let's start from here.
so from that, we lost 1% of power.
Yeah, so I've been drifting all day. It started at 100. And when I stopped drifting, it was at about 70.
Yeah.
And then I never turned it off. I let it idle with the heater on, all that stuff, which takes power too. I'm kind of impressed. All right, ready, set, go.
This side.
Oh, oh shit. Oh yeah.
You feel it?
Yeah.
Look at that. 100 right there.
Yeah.
Boom. 130. 135. Oh! Dude, we were so close to 140.
Yeah. I don't know how much more we could push it. We're at the...
We were so close to 140.
We're at the end.
It was like 138.
Yeah.
Thank
That was
you.
fun, man.
Thank you for
so
that.
much fun.
So let's talk about the Ioniq 6N. This is a prototype still,
Right.
but
This
this
is for
is
production.
closer to production.
Correct. Yeah, this is relatively close. It's still going to take some fine tuning before we go full production with it, but this is the first one that we have in the U.S., so we're still doing some testing with it.
So, which by the way, how brave for letting Odie drift it all day.
Yeah, I think he had some fun with it.
Yeah.
That's for, I will say I was a little bit jealous watching him do that. So, yeah, that looked really good. It looked like it was a lot of fun.
So then let's talk about the specs. How different is this from the 5N?
Yeah, so quite different. You know, big part of this, the build of this car was to actually aim the car to become a little bit more track capable. It actually starts in the front. The front suspension geometry has been altered. The center of gravity has been lowered. You have a little bit more caster to get a little bit better steering feel as well. Actually, it's made a little bit more friendly to drift, which I'm sure Odie experienced today. So a little bit different in comparison to the standard car as well. The front tire has been pushed a little bit forward, giving it a slightly longer wheelbase as well. So not overall has the car been lowered comparing to the 5N, but also the front suspension has been really tweaked to give you a sharper front end altogether.
I'm really surprised that's your response. Really, like that. It's amazing to me that that's that important.
It is, and overall, just with the N cars, you know, our goal is to make these vehicles as fun and as capable as possible. And this is coming from a group of driving enthusiasts, right? So we enjoy not only driving these cars, but building them and putting them together as well. So that's why we're proud to bring this to the U.S. market. And it seems like Odie showed us today that it's extremely track capable out of the box. The platform of the car is the same as the 5N, meaning the chassis. Everything above that it's very unique to this car. And yeah, the shape of the car is really designed to be aerodynamic. So that kind of starts on the front end. You'll see a lot of real channels or air vents to not only assist in cooling down the motors, but also run the air in a certain way around the vehicle to not only produce low coefficient of drag, but also increase downforce. And that goes, of course, with the big wing in the back. But yeah, the design of the car originally was meant to be extremely efficient, right? To not only optimize the range of the car, but also optimize downforce and stability. With the 6N, of course, all of that has been turned up to 11, right? So you have a larger front splitter, you have active air vents in the front where they open and close based on the driving conditions. You channel the air around the wheel that's been optimized for aerodynamics as well by adding a little bit of a lip to create less air resistance. Not only is it lighter for rotational mass, but also aerodynamic. The whole side, of course, again, just channeling the air down to the tail end of the car with the big wing, producing, you know, of course, a good amount of downforce. It's estimated to be about 200 pounds of downforce at max velocity, which is about 160 miles an hour. Yeah, and of course the styling of the car is unique to the end, so it stays true with the red striping around the side, but also much more aggressive front end and rear end. Not only is it all black, but you have the large diffuser style bumper in the rear, as well as the all black front end to just add to that aggression level.
It's interesting to me that Hyundai's like seeing the trend of sedans not being so popular, and then they come out with this. That's really something, like in terms of what they potentially think could work.
Well, this is an enthusiast car, right? And majority of enthusiasts will fall into that bracket of sedans. This is not ultimately, it's got enough space to be a daily driver, but it is meant to be a fun car. And yeah, sedans in general in the U.S. market, which is kind of leaning more towards crossovers and SUVs. Sedans is a smaller segment, or it's actually a shrinking segment. It's not smaller necessarily, but yeah, our goal is to for the end vehicles is to produce fun cars, and this is the segment that it would fall into.
So then what about the driveline itself? How different is it from the 5N?
It's relatively similar in terms of the driveline. So you have a rear electronic limited slip differential. The front end runs the same way, so almost identical in that aspect. But the way the torque distribution works and those finer things have been tweaked to be specific to the 6N.
How much power does this make then?
So at full output, you're looking at 641 horsepower, 568 foot-pounds of torque with the N Green boost. 0 to 60 is 3.2 seconds. And I'm sure you guys experienced that when you're in the car. So it's got a lot of acceleration. Yeah, we'll get you all the way up to about 159 miles an hour is max velocity, max speed. And that's due to the fact that, it's slightly slower than the 5N at max speed, only due to the fact that we have smaller wheels on this car. Again, smaller wheels, less rotational mass, more performance around corners, but it being an electric vehicle, you're limited to how fast your motors can spin. These will spin up to 21,000 RPMs, but if you shrink the wheel size, your max speed will suffer slightly.
So then potentially this will accelerate faster than the 5N then.
And it does. It does accelerate. Yeah, so it gets up to 60 about 0.1 seconds quicker. So yeah, but that's a small part of the equation where, if you were to put that, in a whole lap together, right? So the performance output altogether, when you combine it all, of course, is going to be higher with the 6N.